Well, I came to the topic of solid waste management from environmental sustainability. I was doing my PhD research on risk analysis, and it was environmental risks from waste disposal. And my main field was at that time risk analysis and environmental sustainability. And waste management was actually the topic. And ever since, I am very much inspired to contribute to this very dynamic field, because it has such a huge impact on the society and all aspects of sustainability for billions of people around the world. So working in solid waste management makes a lot of difference.
What got me into the waste sector, well, it's a long story, but I joined the EPA in about 1993, and they said to me, the job we have in mind for you is around regulation. And I said, regulating what? And they said, the waste industry. And I had no experience in the waste industry. But it was an interesting opportunity because I could ask all the dumb questions. You know, how do you do this? Why do you do it that way? Who makes money? Who doesn't make money? How does the system really operate, and so on? And during that time, you get to know who's who in the industry, and you also get to know the problems and start working on how to overcome the problems. So I've had a long history now. I've had 10 years with the EPA and now 13 years with Zero Waste SA, and we're starting green industries now. So a long history now in the waste industry. But the important thing, I guess, is that why it keeps me in it is that we're dealing with the most complex materials on Earth, and they're all mixed up. And so it's very hard to come up with a silver bullet solution, an engineering solution to these problems. And what interests me is the fact that it's really about people's behaviours that we need to influence and change to get real change happening. Because the technical side of it, yeah, you can draw on any number of technologies, but how many of them really work and how many of them, are sustainable going forward is the real question.
Well, like many people, I stumbled into waste management. I was looking for something environmental to do after my first degree. Initially, I worked on waste research, and particularly on hazardous waste. I eventually used my PhD work to develop a planning model for solid waste management in Hong Kong, which was used to develop their first waste disposal plan. And I've been a consultant ever since. That was back in the 1970s when in the UK the first Control of Pollution Act had just been published. Up to that point, the norm was for waste management was simple dumping, and I guess most of my career, my work has focused on helping cities and countries to develop and then to implement the next steps in their sustainable waste management systems. And what those steps are, has evolved over time. For the first 20 years, it was very much a technical approach. Since then, we've realized that simply focusing on the technical issues isn't going to solve your waste and resource problems. So it's expanded very much into all sorts of governance, inclusivity, working with stakeholders, financial sustainability, policy and institutional issues. I've done a lot of work over the last 10 years on behavior change to implement new policies, because waste management is a service. It's provided to users, and if you want the users to do something else, you have to work with them to change behavior.